Hola y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y Presidente es la mejor cerveza. No abate por los plátanos. Miguelito San Dieguito, a.k.a. Bobby Ball. Not with us today, but I did send him a little montage of fantastic photographs and videos of the two of us, kind of like Thelma and Louise. Last night, got a response. So he's still alive, but we miss him and we salute him. Kowalski, this is for you. Yes, 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 yes! Woo! Folks, once again, as we remind each and every one of you every single morning, when we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, well, we're fucking useless. That's it. A very pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Today is the 31st of May. So the last day of the month. And I woke up today, went downstairs, got on the reflexology board. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous morning out here in the Lake Tahoe area. You have the fog that I'm actually sitting above right now. So it's sunny at about, I don't know, what are we, 6,500 feet. And then below us is actually the fog. So I'm looking out at what would be, looks like Truckee. The town of Truckee is completely fogged in. But I got on the foot reflexology board this morning and was looking for the family quote of the day after I wrote down my gratitudes. And I came across this one here. And it just really got me thinking. Because I think now more than anything, it was the same way when I was a player, where I wanted to, as Kobe Bryant put it, make the world my library. Everything I did in life, every person that I talked to, every action that I would take was all to be a better baseball player. And so I feel like at this stage of my life, everything that I do, every action I take, everything that I read is to become a better coach. Now, is it just a baseball coach? Not necessarily. Think about it as somewhat of a coach for life. Now, not a life coach, because I think those are much bullshit. But basically, a coach that can help people charge through life as efficiently and effectively as possible. Now, when I say people, those are the people I'm close to. Those are my friends. Those are my family. Those are all of the people that I feel like I can have a positive influence on. Now, with that said, that also starts with me. Because if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not going to be able to fucking take care of anybody else. So the whole experience that we had in Aguas Calientes, Mexico, with that 12U team, really got me thinking about Miracle and the movie, and the boys watching it the night before they came back, and the 11-run deficit. Now, if you follow the Daily Hustle for an extensive period of time, you know how much, number one, I've loved that movie. We've referenced that movie several times. I'm sure it's at least a chapter in the Daily Hustle 222 Unfiltered Life Guidance from a Human Crash Test Dummy. If you have not picked that up, go to ericbyrnes.com, where you can get a foot reflexology board as well. But I've continued to kind of dive into the life of Herb Brooks. And one of the reasons why this is a fascinating story, but Lunch McKenzie was one of the coaches on the USA team, and Lunch, as they call him, and I would just, what a great name. Well, Lunch is from Minnesota, and he's been with several of these USA teams. His sons, I believe, at least one of the sons is the clubhouse guy for the Minnesota Twins. And he has all this extensive experience, including cutting Mike Trout from the 18U team. So he used that as an example before they made their final cuts is, hey, look, we've cut Mike Trout before. So I don't feel bad if this doesn't work out. But Lunch was talking about how he was working at camp in Minnesota. And after a week of teaching these kids and coaching the kids, and he has a really just awesome way about him to communicate, to get the most out of each individual, a woman came up to him. And the woman said, hey, I've watched you coach the kids over the past week, and I'm really impressed with the way you deal with them. And she had, I guess there was a couple twin boys that were there at the camp. And she went on to say that you really remind me of my dad. And so Lunch turns to the lady and said, oh, cool. Well, thank you. Who's your dad? Herb Brooks. And the way Lunch told the story, and he didn't tell us to the team. He told us to Troy Gloss and I as we were giving them a ride to the ballpark one day to go watch the Venezuela game. But he said that really obviously hit home, being a diehard hockey fan and U.S. hockey fan. And he talked about how in 1980, he remembers sitting there and listening to the game on the radio. And the game was not televised. They didn't televise the game until afterwards, like several hours afterwards, where people got to learn that the United States had won. But Lunch, who loved hockey and listened to the whole thing, it was obviously moved by all of that. And so, there he was then years later, and it was Herb Brooks' daughter that was saying, wow, you remind me of my father. And so at that point, when I hear this in Mexico, I've been looking up Herb Brooks quotes and reading things about him, just because he obviously was somebody that did a really good job of getting the most out of his players. I did also hear, and I don't remember which one, maybe it was Ruzioni, I think. But when they were filming the movie, and Herb Brooks, I believe, passed before the movie actually came out, but it was like right before. But he didn't necessarily have the best friendship with all of his guys. And it sort of makes sense. And it's one of the lines that he had was that he's not here to be their friend. He's here to be their coach. And it makes a lot of sense. Now, I do think that in today's day and age, we have to come off of that a little bit because, yes, I think kids need to know that there's consequences for their actions. And if they're not performing, at some point, there's going to be changes that are made. But at the same time, I also think that in order to get the most out of the kid, you want them feeling comfortable within their environment. And in order for them to feel comfortable, they don't need to play scared. When you play scared, you play tense. You play tense. It's tight muscles, not loose muscles, and you're not getting the flow and the freedom that you need in order to optimally perform. So this morning, I ran across this Herb Brooks quote, and it really got me pondering where we are with this when it comes to putting together our let them play teams. Quote, you win with people, not with talent. So the quality of people is very important in building your team. I always looked for people with a solid value system. Then I recruited kids from cross-section of different personalities, talents, and styles of play. Bam. So this is where we fuck up as recruiters. We go out there and we think to ourselves, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. And I can just say from putting together a 12U team on any given weekend, we're always shooting for what I like to call the thoroughbreds. The guys that are 5'9", 5'10", 160, 170 pounds, can hit a ball 350 feet. And we become enamored with these guys. They throw 70-plus miles per hour. And, yeah, of course, we like those guys. And we'd like to have a lot of those guys. But sometimes the problem becomes you have too many of the same. And so when it actually comes to piecing together what would be the best team, you need kids from all different backgrounds with all different personalities that come in all different shapes and sizes that do all different things. These are your war players. These are your guys that are going to go to battle for you. These are the guys where at the end of the day, when we looked at that quote-unquote war statistic, however you want to calculate it, you know what it says? They're winning fucking players. They're kids that are going to help you win games anyway, anyhow necessary. That's huge. They're gigantic. And they may not always look the part. But guess what? They fit in. Great attitudes. No bitching. No complaining. Wherever you need to coach. Those are the kids that really put your team over the top. And so when you're constructing any team, a sales team, you're constructing a team at work that you have this project that you guys are all work together and maybe it's launching a rocket to the moon. As much as we think we need the most talented group possible in order to make this happen, that's not always the case. Sometimes you'll sacrifice some raw talent for what I would like to call raw winning ability. The know-how, the gut, whatever it is that literally like helps you do all the little things to help you guys win games. It's critical. And I feel like the more we do this, I've really bought in. And then you obviously confirm it with quotes like that from a guy that pulled off what they call the miracle and won several national championships. So let's raise one up and pour a little out. Take one more sip here. To Herb Brooks. All right, short show today. I got a meeting in 10 minutes with I don't even know what you want to call him. Let's just say a powerhouse. That's in the betting and media world. It's a really good way to put it. Powerhouse in the betting and media world. Yeah, it should be interesting to see how we could potentially work a little no filter. Hey, taking a look around Major League Baseball from yesterday, and I know we have some games coming up today. I just want to go over a few scores. Tuesday, May 30th, there was the Rangers 10-6 over the Tigers. Padres 9-4 over the Marlins. Orioles 8-5 over the Guardians. The Blue Jays 7-2 over the Brewers. Are you fucking kidding me? 7-2? That OU was 9. But no way. They had 9 runs by the third inning and didn't score another fucking run? Come on. Oh, fuck me. Wow. That's a tough one if you had the over on it. Reds 9-8 over the Red Sox. Oh, this gets worse. We had the Red Sox, too. 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning. So 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Boston came back to score. How about that? They came up a run short. Mets 2-0 over the Phillies. Cardinals 2-1 over the Royals. Cubs 2-1 over the Rays. It's a big win for the Cubs. Astros 5-1 over the Twinkies. Joe Ryan gets beat. Woo! Icy day yesterday. White Sox 7-3 over the Angels. D-backs 5-1 over the Rockies. I did have the D-backs. The A's 2-1 over the Braves. Yankees 10-2 over the Mariners. Giants go down. I think we had the over in that. We might have lost every bet, except for the D-backs. Pirates 2-1 over the Giants. Good thing we didn't do that betting show last night, huh, Giuseppe? Dodgers 9-3 over the Nationals. So today, you got Rangers and Tigers going at it. That starts at 10:10 a.m. Then it's Angels, White Sox, Rays, Cubs again. Guardians at the O's. Braves at the A's, the daytime matinee out there in Oakland. Good day for a ball game. Pirates at the Gigantes. Then it's the Nationals at the Dodgers. The Padres at the Marlins. The Brewers at the Blue Jays. The Reds at the Red Sox, Phillies, Mets. Nola versus Carrasco. Twins, Astros. It's a Varland against Brown. Rockies, D-backs, Lamet versus Henry. And the Yankees, Mariners at Schmidt taking on Kirby to close that series out. All right, today's Daily Hustle. Let's get to it. 2 feet in. Buenos dias. Today is Wednesday, May 31st, 2023, before taking off for Mexico. Team USA 12U manager David Sharp gave a very emotional speech to both the kids and the parents. He spoke about the last 12U team he coached to gold in 2017, the fact that several of the kids are likely to be first-round draft picks in just a few months from now. He then spoke of the selflessness of the team, citing their willingness to play any position and do absolutely anything and everything to help the team win. Sharpie then turned his attention to the parents and brought up the fact that family members of these players basically comprise the entire U.S. fan base in foreign land. He even went so far to show us a video of a couple of the dads dressed up in obnoxious stars and stripes gear, donning American flag motorcycle helmets and going absolutely berserk before their gold medal game. Then he asked all of us to stand up. On the floor were 2 ropes strategically placed on the ground. He asked the players to form a circle and around one rope and asked the parents to form a circle around the other. Sharpie addressed the players first, asking that they were truly willing to check their egos at the door and go all in on being the ultimate team player. He asked them if they were going to be okay sitting on the bench, catching bullpens, warming up outfielders, being ultimate cheerleaders, and potentially not ever playing a single inning. He also asked if they were willing to do whatever it took to fight for every single pitch in every single game. If the answer was yes to the multiple questions, he asked the players to put 2 feet in the rope that form a circle. Sharpie then addressed the parents. He asked if we were willing to let go of little Johnny and entrusting the U.S. coaching staff to be the kid's guardian over the next 2 weeks. He asked if we were okay watching little Johnny ride pine and possibly not get a single at bat. He asked if we would be willing to check our egos at the door and cheer like savage European soccer fans, willing to fight and bleed their country's colors. So long as the answer was yes, he asked that we step inside the rope and put 2 feet in. After a quick reminder that it was going to be us against the world, the player and parents locked arms and began a USA chant I'll never forget. For the most part, what I witnessed over the next 2 weeks was simply awesome. 18 kids working towards one common goal without giving 2 fucks who got the credit. With that attitude, it seemed like every single kid at some point did something to contribute to eventually the U.S. 12U squad bringing home gold in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. At dinner one night, one of the other parents asked me what it was like to play for the A's Moneyball team that won 20 consecutive games. Basically, this was my response. Every day I came to the ballpark, I had no idea if I was going to start, pinch hit, pinch runner, come in for defense. But every single day I showed up to the stadium ready to take on whatever role was asked of me with the attitude that I was going to do something to help my team win. I obviously can't speak for others, but it seemed like we had 25 guys pulling the same direction with very similar selfless sort of attitudes. No matter what, internal competition will always exist, but instead of it being destructive, as it often can be, on that A's team, it was encouraging, and ultimately we all pushed one another to be the absolute best we could. Yet, don't be mistaken, our team Yet, don't be mistaken, as a team, our competitive spirit with outsiders was straight savage. We knew we were better than our competition, and we were going to play better and party harder than any other team in baseball. In other words, kind of like this 12U USA team, we were 2 fucking feet in. See ya, EB. P.S. Checked out part of the infamous 2 feet in speech by clicking pick and watch/listen to today's Daily Hustle podcast by tapping on the blue bar below. There's the 2 feet in speech. If you guys want to go to your email and get that, and then obviously you're watching the Daily Hustle. So, of all the shows, that was definitely a short one. It is Wednesday, and of course, on Wednesday, we need to finish this thing up with a Wooden Wednesday. Also, let me open the chat. Say buenos dias to John Davis, Michelle Drew, Jason Kelly, JK, Sepe Pepe Manuele. Let's see here. Good morning to everybody. All right. The Wooden Wednesday for today. I got Ornstein calling right now, the Orange Check, by the way. Did I fail as a coach? During the first 14 years, was I a success only when I coached a team that won a national championship? Let's see here. He says, if UCLA had never won a national championship while I was coaching there, I would still have considered myself very successful because I was judging myself on other things I had some control over. For example, how hard am I trying to produce the very best team we possibly can? Had we not won any championships, I would have been disappointed, yes, but still a success in my own eyes. I would have had peace of mind because of the effort I put forth. The 10 national titles provided no additional peace of mind nor sense of validation of my efforts as a coach that I already had. I had success long before I was called a success. Fucking awesome. Coach Wood, raise one up. Everyone have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow on the DH. See ya!